Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth4 for the final weekly update of the year and of the decade. So this snuck up on us. It's interesting to think that we're heading into the roaring 20s now. But man, this is a weird year. This is a weird decade. But we'll have a year in review video in a couple weeks. It's not going to be next week's update because next week is MAGFest, so it'll be after that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this year. But so far, yeah, this past week was okay. We had Hanukkah, which was the start of Hanukkah. Tonight is going to be the 8th night, so tomorrow is the last day of Hanukkah. Today is the 7th. For all people out there celebrating, I hope you had a fantastic holiday. Everybody out there who celebrated Christmas, I hope you had a fantastic holiday. And yeah, here's to the new year and a new start. I've talked about this a few times already, but never forget that any day can be your new year. It really can. You just have to say, all right, I've had enough of whatever's going on. We're going to change it starting today. Doesn't have to be a drastic change, but you have to make that mental note that this is changing now. Just make one little difference in your life, and it's going to make a ripple. It really will. I mean, I've lost 25 pounds, which was my goal before MAGFest. Whoop, whoop. I've lost 25 pounds since the end of August, which I haven't done that naturally in a decade. So, all this time, even when I wasn't sick, I just wasn't making that little bit of effort to start it off, and it's made a difference. It's taken time, but it's made a difference. But yeah, so just remember, you just need to do that a little bit. But in terms of videos and things, last week we were continuing in Mother 3. I started uploading the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta VODs from this past year. This week, those VODs will continue going up, 2 on Wednesday and 2 on Saturday, probably. Again, starting Wednesday, January 1st, is day 0 of MAGFest. That's when I'm heading down to Maryland. So I'm going to do my best to get all the videos ready before I go for throughout the weekend. If I don't, I'm just not going to have anything up. We'll see by Tuesday night where I am, but I should be able to record 4 episodes of Mother 3 tomorrow, like I have been doing, because that game is so much easier to produce. So much easier to produce than Twilight Princess and Final Fantasy X and Katamari and everything else. My glasses are dirty. Not that those were annoying to make, because I loved them. They were just very time consuming since they were console games. Excuse me. It takes more time to sync it up. It takes more time to first put on the editing program, the recording program, and plug everything in and set up, and then process the thing. And here, I open up emulator, I open up Fraps, and I record, and then the video file is just ready for me. So yeah, it's just, and also because it's not graphically intensive, being a Game Boy Advance game, it renders so much faster. So yeah, I've had a lot more free time to just do things. And also, since I'm doing 4 episodes instead of 6, that cuts down significantly on my workload. Because before it was 3 and 3 of the 2 Let's Plays, but now it's just 4 of one game, so it's a lot easier to focus and not have to go back and forth, and yeah, so it's good. It's less time consuming, and I'm loving the playthrough so far. And for those people wondering, no, I'm not going to stop singing. I'm sorry. That's just, it's what I do. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. It's just what I do. We also streamed on Tuesday night Cthulhu Saves Christmas, or the first half of it anyway, the game by Zeboyd Games. And I'm going to try to finish that Monday night. Obviously, Wednesday I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to be at MAGFest already. Tuesday night is New Year's Eve. I really don't want to stream on New Year's Eve. I might stream earlier in the day Tuesday, but my main objective will be trying to stream Monday night instead. So, yeah. Tune in just to see. It's probably going to be Monday night at 8, but there's a few factors that I'm still waiting to coalesce. So just keep on top of things on Twitter and Discord. But I would like to finish that game this week, and I can finish it in one more one more streaming session, because we went halfway through the game already. So yeah, let's see. Anything else interesting happening this week? MAGFest is happening this week. I don't know if I've mentioned that I'm going to MAGFest. I'm very excited for it. If you are going, by the way, let me know. Right now they have the schedule online and stuff. So let's see. All the stuff I want to go to, all the stuff I can go to, is going to be on Thursday. There's at 5:30. There's a musical history of Zelda panel that I'm going to. Thursday at 7 is Arcade Pit, which is always amazing. And 10:30 is Unintentional Comedy in Video Games, which is great. And in between there, before that and after, and in between that, I'm not really doing anything. Friday morning, there's also something. But yeah, aside from that, like, I'm just gonna be hanging around with people. So, I have. Sorry, Sushi. I have things. So if you are gonna be there, every year, I can't show you what's in here because it's gifts, but every year, I have a thing that I make them sign. Go, sign this right now. I ask people to sign a thing, but this year the incentive is I'm bringing prints of my artwork. So if you sign it, you get artwork prints that you can, I don't know, hold on to or something. So it's at least an extra incentive. Also, I'll record it for the next weekly update, but I made like specific pieces of art for MAGFest. I'll show off next week, like I just said. But yeah, they came out really well, and I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm very excited for MAGFest this year. There is a lot of people going this year. I mean, there's always a lot of people going in general. I mean, a lot of people I know going. And I'm very excited. But, you know, there's also the usual crowd, which I'm very excited about because I don't get to see my friends too often in real life. I'm lucky if I get to see them like once or twice. Otherwise, if they organize a HoanCon or something, you know. So yeah, MAGFest I just look forward to every year very much, and I am excited to see the people going. I really am. Yeah. And once again, I'm missing Throne controllers this time by about an hour. It's not Friday night this time; it's Friday afternoon, but it's still after I gotta go because that's the way things go in Albuquerque. I'm not upset. I'm used to it, and I'm just glad I got to go to Throne controllers at the New Jersey show this past year. My baby's first Throne controllers. But yeah, so that was that. As for anything else, MAGFest, I'm going to be gone from the 1st to the 5th. Videos, like I said, should go up beforehand, so there shouldn't be anything like that. Obviously, there's not going to be a stream. And next week is going to be a return to normalcy, I guess. I've also gotten all of the Patreon drawings, except for one, done. That one I'm going to hopefully finish today or tomorrow, but I can't believe I'm actually getting things done before the end of the year. I'm very happy. So, yeah, there's a lot of stress leading up to MAGFest because I have, the pictures I like to draw for people. So that's like six pictures on top of now Patreon being a thing. I started the Patreon commissions in January of this year. So last year, at least, there wasn't extra stress, but this year I had the four Patreon drawings plus this. So within the span of the latter half of November, moving into December here, I had to draw 10 separate works of art that actually had to be of quality, as opposed to my other stuff, the stupid stuff I draw for like live streams or just like doodles or whatever. These can't be doodles. So it was interesting, but I said to myself, okay, so if I just try to conquer this all at once, I'm just going to go crazy and not do it. So I'm going to, just take care of the MAGFest stuff one at a time, and then once that's done, or once the burden is lower there, take care of the Patreon stuff. It'll get done, and lo and behold, it worked. I kept my stress down just by saying it will get done, but I don't need to do everything right now all at once. I'll just space it out, and it worked. But yeah, so to start off Hanukkah, the first Patreon reward that I did was seeing all my tabs. Come on. Alright, I need to manually do this, I forgot. Do I need to change the brightness on this? 1 second. Is changing the brightness actually work for this? It's really hard because... There we go. That's a little better. I mean, it's not bright, but it's Chandelure, the Pokemon Chandelure. Wow. It's as best we're gonna get, I think. It's the Pokemon Chandelure drawn as a menorah. Let's see if I raise the brightness on my camera here, if it'll make it, my phone, if it'll make it any better now. I lower the brightness there, raise the brightness here. I don't know. You can't really see, but the fire's... It's really ruining this. Yeah, wow. It's apparently my... just doesn't want to show up on my phone here, but I also made a... I made a shiny version. Wow, this is... So I had to close my window because with my window open, like, you can't see me. So I guess we can attempt to conduct the rest of the weekly update like this. Let's see if for some reason that makes this any better. It doesn't. But, I don't know. It looks much better on Twitter, so go check it out. But I made the Chandelure and the shiny version. Finished up, like I said, the stuff for MAGFest. Other thing I did was Futaba from Persona 5. I like that I have a brightness that I can adjust, and then the camera also seems to just do its own auto adjusting. But yeah, I don't know what's with it today. I'm gonna have to mess with it. But yeah, anything else interesting happening this week? I feel like I did another commission. The Tomorrow's Christmas Eve video that Tim did many years ago. It just keeps getting traction every year. I love it. Um, Working on the Nagito cosplay. The wig is almost done. It just needs like a little bit of touching up now, and I can't wait to. I have no idea when I want to put it on at like the cosplay at MAGFest. Like I don't want to just start off Thursday wearing it because I want people to actually respect me first. I was thinking Friday morning, so maybe. Because Friday's the day that I'm going to be spending the least time around the con. So I don't know. But yeah, it's looking good. I mean, it's not looking good. It's looking terrible, but it kind of works with him being a trash baby. Yeah, we got that. Okay, I guess it was just that. Okay. Yeah, so there's not really much else. It's hard to, like on the days that it's just cloudy because then my camera's like, is it light? Is it dark? I don't know. Let's just magnify all the whites here and that's it. If I try to like lower the light, then you just don't see anything in the background there, and that's like, okay, let's balance it out in the middle. That shouldn't be like that. It should be more like this, but then it's like way too bright in the front, you know? I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess with it on my own time. Can I do something with this program? Nope. Auto white balance. Interesting. That's me messing around with the color intensity now. Okay. It's just gonna be the rest of the video is just gonna be messing around with the settings. Let's just put that back down to the middle. This is contrast at 0. I don't see why that's contrast at 0, but hey. One sec. Okay, that's just autofocus. Okay, sorry. Anyway. Did I crash it? Okay, it's back. Yeah, so, I don't know. So one last thing, because it's been, I don't know, I talk about religion a lot. I usually don't like going into politics or religion politics. But over the past few weeks, over the past few weeks, over the past while, but it's been ramping up in the past few weeks, there have been a lot of anti Semitic attacks on Jews, especially in the New York area. Hasidim have been attacked by a lot of people, and it hasn't really gotten that much media attention. There was a shooting last week in a kosher supermarket, which is amazing that once it was determined that it wasn't white supremacists, then it completely disappeared from the media. And last night there was a stabbing at a Hanukkah party. A guy just walked in with a machete and started stabbing people to a rabbi's house when they were lighting the menorah. And that I really haven't seen talked about too much either, because, again, there's narratives that people just don't want to report on. But anti-Semitism, especially in America, Europe has just been crazy. That's a whole thing we're not getting into. But anti-Semitism in America has been ramping up a lot. And it's really not being helped by a lot of factors. And it's really not within my frame of reference to go into it, because people are going to argue, and I mean, if you want to try to argue with somebody when you're not really involved with it, that's great, but something that I guess just for people to keep in mind when you say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not anti-Semitic, but a lot of people can't tell the difference between, I guess, rhetoric, complaining, just, if you say something, there's going to be, if you have a position of importance where people listen to you, and you make a statement, and that statement can be misinterpreted, there are going to be a lot of people that do misinterpret it, and that's always going to happen. But if you have a position of power, or even if you just have a friend group or something, it's really up to you to make sure that you don't say things that can easily be misinterpreted. There's a lot of political officials, and this is really a problem on the left and the right, that just don't watch what they say. And whether it's criticizing Israel, which it's perfectly okay and allowed to criticize a country and try to get them to do better, but you have to understand the context in what you're saying, because so many people really, they either can't tell the difference between anti-Semitism and criticizing Israel, or they use it as an excuse to be anti-Semitic. And in this case, there's been a lot of people lately that have used the general sentiment that's floating around to be anti-Semitic. And this isn't just well, that's what you think. This is what the people are saying. A lot of leaders of various groups have been just building up this anti-Jewish rhetoric, and because the other side politically is in favor of one thing, then everyone else is in favor of the other, and they just kind of ignore the people that get caught in the middle. I know I'm being vague, and I know how annoying it is being vague, and I don't want to. It's because I don't want to start a fight. What I'm trying to say is, just try to watch what you say, please, to the people around you, people who aren't as discerning as you, maybe, or even people who are as discerning as you, because some people just can't separate concepts in their mind, and one of those things is generally just ends up being anti-Semitism, and it's been getting worse. And yeah, people aren't doing anything about it. It's because we're getting close to the elections, and because apparently it's now a party line thing on whether or not anti-Semitism should be cared about. And if you say it's not, then I don't know what news you've been paying attention to, but it has become a party line thing, which is absolutely nuts. But yeah, it's just I don't know. The solutions that there are just to get all of the racists out of office. But that's not going to happen. It never happens. What we can do, I guess, until the elections, to at least try to get the idiots out that make things worse on any side of the aisle. What we can try to do, at least for ourselves, is just watch what we say and who we say it to. The impressionable people around us, even if we don't have, we're not the head of an organization or a group or a congressperson or senator or president, a lot of these people just hear the world around them talk disparaging, not just of Jews, but of of minorities or of classes of people or whatever, and it all just boils down into hate. And that starts simmering until somebody has a bad day, or they hear the wrong thing, or somebody uses rhetoric or metaphor to say, hey, let's kill all these people, when instead what they're saying is, let's try to make things equal or more better or whatever. They use the wrong words, and that sets a person off. And it's not the fault necessarily of the person who said those words, but if they had an opportunity to do something different and to say something different, then they really should have. And it's something incumbent on all of us to just watch what we say, because there's a lot of impressionable people out there, and one statement doesn't make a pogrom happen, but if it just keeps going and going and going, and you have outspoken leaders who just keep saying things over and over, and just to be bombastic or just to be out there and make a name for themselves, or try to be the opposition, so they just and everyone supports them because that's the opposition, then the world does not become a better place. It really doesn't. We shouldn't be supporting people who can only make a name for themselves by being hateful. That's just my opinion anyway, but these aren't good times, but the Jewish people have weathered a lot. And this is happening in New York, New Jersey, Democratic states, not Republican states. Not that that makes a difference, honestly. It really doesn't. What I'm trying to say is it's not a politics thing, it's a people thing. And we have to make sure that we're not ignoring the people part of the equation just because of politics. That's always something to remember. And a lot of people I see are just doing that because what's the alternative? We're in a messy situation. There's no doubt about that. But again, if you're feeling hopeless about these things, you please just keep in mind, at least for yourselves, am I making things better or worse with what I'm saying? With how I say it, to whom I say it to? That's really where I'm going with this. And I'm sorry for being preachy, and I know this was very vague and just not put together, but we have to, not all of us have the power to change the entire world, but if we change just the areas around ourselves, or just change ourselves, but change our areas around ourselves, make the people around us just, I don't know, get rid of a lot of the hate and rhetoric and exaggeration, and then things like this won't happen as much, I think, anyway. When people get fed up with their circumstances, it won't boil over into them attacking a certain group of people. It'll go into them maybe trying to make things better around them, or activism of some sort. But yeah. Anyway, tonight is the 8th night of Hanukkah, where we light the menorah as a celebration of our religious and spiritual independence and freedom from a world that was trying to destroy us. And I for one, am going to be lighting it with in mind, keeping in mind that we're doing this despite all the people out there that just don't want this to happen. But we survive, and you'll survive too. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry this is a weird end to an update, a weird end to the year, but I'm looking forward to seeing you all in 2020 and beyondward. 2020 and beyondward. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.